Welcome to another Friday tone tutorial. I'm Scott. You're watching Guitarnivore. Today we got the Misfits. Super easy tone, as you heard in the intro. It's all going to be Glenn Danzig era tones, so we're not doing anything from American Nightmare or any of the other albums, Devil's Reign, whatever. I held a poll, as you can see here. It kind of went as I expected. Glenn Danzig took 70%, Michael Graves 21%, which I didn't expect him to get that much. And I didn't expect anybody to vote for Jerry, but apparently somebody clicked on Jerry, and I guess. Project 1950 was fun, but Devil's Reign, not so much. I just don't care for Jerry's voice. But I do like American Nightmare. I didn't like Famous Monsters. I thought Famous Monsters was absolutely terrible, and it was more of the same stuff. As far as trying to, relive the whole monster movie theme, and it wasn't good. I didn't like it. What I've got today, we're going to go over a simple tone. Shouldn't take us long at all, probably under 10 minutes. And it doesn't matter because I'm not monetizing this anyway because of that intro. All the money from this video, which is be like $2 or $3, will go to Cyclopean Records or Danzig or Jerry or whoever owns it. So let's get into it. Sitting on the stool kind of hurts my back. I'm trying something new. I like it, but right now it's bothering my back a bit. Anyway, starting out, we got a nice, clean, sterile tone going on, as we always do. Nice and sounding clean. But we're going to keep the amp on clean, and we're going to dial the gain back just a hair because we're going to be using a boost that is going to carry most of the distortion, or the gain, whatever you want to call it. Our chain, on the other hand, we're going to be using chain 1. I think this is probably the first time I've used chain 1, and probably the first time I've used this particular booster, because right now we're going to have a booster and we're going to have reverb, and that's it. You're not having anything else on this whole thing except parametric EQ. So let's finish dialing in our panel here. Bump your volume up to whatever is comfortable in your ears. I'm putting it at 85 so you can hear what I'm doing. And I got the bass. I'm going to bump the bass up to about 69, 70. And then I'm going to roll the mids back just a hair. And the treble up just about 58. And we're actually going to take the presence. We're actually going to roll the presence back instead of forward like I usually do. I usually put it at about 66. Well, we don't need all that with this Misfits tone because Misfits is it was 70s, late 70s punk rock, so there wasn't a whole lot of hi-fi sound to the recording or the guitar tone or any tone for that matter. In fact, the Misfits tone was very bass heavy and a distorted bass heavy. So that's kind of what we're going for here. So now that we got our chain, let's go to the boost. Now for the boost, I've never used the Rat in any of my tone tutorials. But the Rat, if you've never used the Rat, is kind of like an overdrive, fuzz, and distortion pedal all in one, depending on how you dial it in. And that's why I chose it, because it's a very fuzzy distortion. So you can hear we got clean. We're getting there. I'm going to just about 37, 38 on the gain, on the drive. I'm leaving this tone at 0, but I'm giving it a little more bottom end, about 16. And the effects level, put it right at about 48, 49. I mean, you could probably be like, that's good enough right there. For Misfits Tone, yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything really special. Now we got our booster. Let's jump right over to our reverb and put it on a room reverb. I've got this dialed back to about, I think, 2.3 seconds on the reverb time and 60 on the pre-delay. I have mine set at 25. It just seemed like it sounded good right there. And then the density at 5, but I have the effects level turned way down to 12. Because all we're really trying to do here is give it a room feel, like you're playing in a room. That's it. I don't want anything else. I just need a little spaciness and make it sound like you're playing in a room. And lastly, well, let's look at the noise suppressor. I have this one set at 42 and 50. But, I mean, this one's working fine for what I got, and you're just going to have to work yours in, depending on what your pickups are and how close you are to the amp and how loud it is. Back to our parametric EQ We are using amp out. Let's turn it in. I dialed this one in just a little bit different than I normally do. I've only got it at 6 decibels on the low, and I've got the typical 40 on the low cut. On the low mids, I've got it down to 350, and it just sounded a little better than my usual 250. And then the mid gain, I've only got at 4, and the high gain, I've got at 3, and the overall level is at 4. Now, my high mid frequencies, I have it dialed in at my usual 1.6, but the high cut 5 was just a little too much and too much treble, and I wanted to dial it back so it didn't sound, so modern. That is it. We're done. I think, like less than 3 minutes. But I mean, it's the Misfits. Like I said, it's all lo-fi. It's nothing special. It's what they had back then. They didn't have all sorts of effects and all that stuff. They just plugged in, turned it up, and went to town. That's going to wrap it up. I told you it was going to be a quick one today. Super easy. Super fun to play in the mix. If you can mix some Misfits in there, and even if it's in the background playing, it's super fun. Misfit songs are super easy, super fun to play. And I don't know how many times I've said super today. More than I probably normally do. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.